Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Good morning, Morgan.
NV, Charlamagne, and Jess, how y'all feeling?
You good?
Blessed, black, and highly favored. What up, Morgan?
I love it. I love to hear that. Okay, so the latest on front page news is there's yet another aviation accident. Before I get into that, let's check in with the Trump administration. So Hamas is suspending a planned hostage release for this weekend after it claimed Israel is not following the terms of their ceasefire agreement. A Hamas official said there have been numerous violations, which they said include delaying the return of displaced Palestinians to northern Gaza, not allowing supplies to enter the Strip, and gunfire in various parts of the region. Now, the militant group said because of this, the hostage exchange that's set for Saturday is postponed until further notice. Now, Israel said the development is a complete violation of the ceasefire and hostage deal that they struck before. Now, yesterday afternoon, President Trump spoke from the Oval Office saying he would call for an end to the ceasefire deal if Israel and Hamas, between Israel and Hamas, if every Israeli hostage is not released from Gaza on Saturday. Let's hear more from President Trump.
As far as I'm concerned, if all of the hostages aren't returned by Saturday at 12 o'clock, I think it's an appropriate time. I would say cancel it and all bets are off and let hell break out. I'd say they ought to be returned by 12 o'clock on Saturday, and if they're not returned, all of them, not in drips and drabs, not 2 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 2. Saturday at 12 o'clock, and after that, I would say all hell is going to break out.
What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I don't know what the ceasefire agreement is, but I'm sure Trump would rather give Israel the green light to wipe Gaza out. Like, Trump already told you he wants to take over the region and displace all the Palestinians, so that don't sound like, they looking for peace. Also, if they go in and, wipe out the Gaza Strip, won't they be hurting the hostages too?
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So in a recent interview with Fox News, Brett Baer, Trump said Palestinians wouldn't be welcomed back to the Gaza Strip if the U.S. decided to take over the region because the conditions aren't livable, and he also called it a demolition site. He believes that he could strike a deal with neighboring nations to take in displaced Palestinians, neighboring nations like Egypt and Jordan. Let's hear more from President Trump on Gaza.
No, they wouldn't, because they're going to have much better housing, much better. In other words, I'm talking about building a permanent place for them. If they have to return now, it will be years before you could have it's not habitable. It will be years before it could happen. I think I could make a deal with Jordan. I think I could make a deal with Egypt. We give them billions and billions of dollars a year.
Now, the president, he's not wrong about that. The U.S. does provide Jordan and Egypt with billions of dollars in humanitarian aid, but he does believe he could strike a deal with those nations and other Arab nations. But so far, they've pushed back, saying the plan would be a violation of international law. Some Republicans say that they believe this plan is far-fetched, but Trump will be meeting with the King of Jordan at the White House today. So we will see how that develops. And in political news relative to New York, the Department of Justice is set to drop a federal corruption case against New York City Mayor Eric Adams. That's according to a memo sent by acting Deputy Attorney General Emil Beauvais that instructed the acting U.S. Attorney for the Southern District to dismiss the charges as soon as is practicable. Charges were brought against Adams last year in what was the first prosecution of a sitting mayor in New York City history. So let's continue to watch out and see what happens to New York City Mayor Eric Adams. We knew that this was probably coming, but as he has aligned himself with the new administration, it seems as though that appears to be working in his favor.
Well, I didn't know the charges were going to be dropped. I thought that, Trump would probably
pardon him after,
after the fact, yeah.
But the mayor did tell top officials not to criticize President Trump and not to interfere with immigration enforcement. So I guess, being on the side of Donald Trump has its privileges for somebody like Mayor Adams. Yeah,
but the crazy thing is when you look at the judicial system in the last, 10 days, 15 days, there is none. Nobody gives an F. Like, people do whatever they want to do.
That's not true.
What are you talking about? He just pardoned all these people. No. He didn't even go through the judicial process. What?
It's definitely a judicial system for regular mother effers like us.
Touche.
Not for those individuals. What are you talking about?
But that is wild.
Like
your ass ain't getting no pardon.
You right.
Your ass ain't gonna get your charges dropped.
You right.
What are you talking about?
But it's crazy because if you align yourself with Trump or you have some political friends, you don't even got to go to court. You could do a crime and just. I guess maybe it has, and we just haven't seen it in our face like this. But now it's in our face where it's just like middle fingers up, F it, it is what it is.
On both sides, though.
Yep.
Literally on both sides.
That's right.
I'm still thinking about that Gaza Strip thing. I really would like to talk to somebody way smarter than me about that, because I don't know how any of those things work. But if you decided to give Israel the green light to wipe out the Gaza Strip, like, because he said all hell would break loose on, 12 noon Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
If you did that, you'd be taking out the hostages too, right? Like, if you want the hostages to be returned safely, doesn't that defeat the whole purpose to have them just go wipe out the Gaza Strip?
It's almost like if I can't have them, you can't have them either. I have no idea, but that's what it sounds like.
I don't get that.
All right. Well, that is front page news. Thank you, Morgan.
All right. Talk to y'all at 7.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get back in some front page news. What's up, Morgan?
Man, the aviation is going crazy. We don't know what's going on over here. We got an accident over here, accidents over there, accidents everywhere, and it's just a sad thing that's happening. Okay, so an unfortunate aviation accident happened yesterday in Scottsdale, Arizona this time. Officials say a collapsed landing gear is the apparent cause of a deadly plane crash in Scottsdale Airport near Phoenix. Now, one of the jets involved belonged to Motley Crue lead singer Vince Neil. Airport spokesperson Kelly Keister says the crash involved 2 business jets, and she believes the accident is the result of the equipment failure. Scottsdale Fire Department spokesperson Dave Folio says one person was killed in the crash, and he detailed the scene. Let's hear more from those officials.
At 14:39, a Learjet aircraft on its arrival from Austin veered off the runway and collided with another jet, a Gulfstream 200 aircraft that was parked. It appears that the left main gear failed upon landing, resulting in the accident.
We had 5 patients we treated. 1 was a fatality. We had 2 immediates that were transported to local trauma centers. We had 1 delayed patient and then 1 patient that refused treatment.
So Scottsdale, or TMZ reports rather, that the Motley Crue lead singer Vince Neil, he was not on the plane. However, his girlfriend was, and she is currently in the hospital with broken ribs recovering. Scottsdale Airport is just a few minutes from where the PGA's Waste Management Phoenix Open was held over the weekend as well. So, the calls are just too close. Switching gears back to D.C., senators are set to vote on the nomination of Kash Patel to be the FBI director. Now, Democrats were able to delay the nomination, citing his plan to shut down the agency's headquarters and reopen it as a museum of the, quote, deep state. Now, California Senator Alex Padilla, he's raised questions and concerns about the ability Kash Patel's ability to lead the FBI independently from the president. FBI is supposed to be independent from that of the president. Now, Padilla slammed Patel's opposition to universal background checks for guns and his support for civilian ownership of machine guns. Let's hear more from California Senator Alex Padilla.
In times of chaos and crisis like this, the public deserves to see trusted leaders in the most important positions. So it's in that context that makes the nomination and potential confirmation of Kash Patel even more alarming. That's the kind of judgment you want at the FBI? I don't think so.
So the Washington Post reported over the weekend that Patel was paid last year by a Russian film company that pushes both conspiracy theories and anti-Western views.
Yeah. I mean, do you really want to confirm somebody who has an enemies list? Like, I don't know if y'all know, Kash Patel got an enemy list. He got a roster of more than 60 individuals accused of being a part of the deep state. Like, I don't think that's a person you want to put in, somebody who's just coming in with an enemies list.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, being able to actually work independent from the president, being able to actually work independent, and, the whole point is justice. So. But this comes at the same time Tulsi Gabbard is a step closer to becoming the director of national intelligence. She cleared a majority hurdle on Monday night when the U.S. Senate voted along party lines to advance her nomination. The final vote to confirm her, the former Hawaii Congresswoman, is expected to be held later tonight or early on Wednesday. Elsewhere, the protester who was running around with the Palestinian and Sudanese flags during the Super Bowl halftime show, Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show, he will not face any charges, no criminal charges anyways. New Orleans police said in a statement he was ejected from Caesars Superdome by security, but he was not arrested. The man was a part of the performance and apparently hid the flag under his clothing. Police say since he was was allowed on the field. They did not press charges of trespassing. The NFL has already handed down a lifetime ban for all stadiums and events. So he can't attend a concert. He can't go to a game. And, all for I guess for protest.
But he didn't sneak on the field though, right?
He was a part of.
Yeah,
he was part of the performance.
He was a part of the performance and snuck the protesting materials under his clothes. So
he had to practice he had to practice everything with Kendrick for weeks.
So he went rogue. He went rogue, basically.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. Speaking of the Super Bowl, 60 is we're already looking forward to 60. Super Bowl 60 is coming to Northern California at Levi Stadium in the Bay Area. Now, San Francisco 49ers owner Jet York was in New Orleans to accept the hosting duties. This will be the second time the game will be at the venue in Santa Clara. The sporting event looks to bring a significant economic boost to the region. In 2016, the region saw a $240 million surge in sales tax revenue. And speaking of Manyan, you mentioned this to me a little bit off air, Envy. President Trump, he's directing the U.S. Treasury to stop minting new pennies. So Trump wrote in a post on Sunday night on Truth Social that the country has for far too long, minted pennies, which he says literally cost us more than 2 cents. It does supposedly cost about a little bit over 3 cents to make 1 penny. So the U.S. Mint reported a loss of over $85 million for the 2024 fiscal year, $85 million in the 2024 fiscal year on over 3 billion pennies it produced. So
does Donald Trump like anything, Brown?
I literally was about to say that. That's so crazy.
But if the penny costs 3.7 to make,
I get
why
it.
are we still making the penny? It costs more than the penny's worth. That don't make no sense.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, you're right about that. It's
that don't make no sense to me though, because that means that all of the coins probably cost more to make than
what
they do.
their worth is.
Well,
if the penny costs more, I'm sure the nickel and quarters cost more to make too.
I don't think so.
You think the nickel costs less than 5 cents?
If the penny costs 3.7, what does the nickel cost? What, 4.2 cents? I don't know.
What is it made out of? Like, what is it? What is the penny? Copper? What is it?
No, the penny is copper.
Oh, wow. Because they made out of different things. It depends on what
how much does it cost to make it?
Yeah, you're right. Because the nickel costs 13.8 cents. So I guess you're right. So yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, so all those people who have all those jars of change and all of that, I don't know. You might as well start.
That's why it don't make no sense. You phase out the penny. Like I was reading this article on CNN. You phase out the penny. It says you need to make more nickels, and the nickel costs more to make than the penny.
Pennies, so it don't make sense.
Damn.
If it don't make sense, don't make the money then, huh? All right, so that's your front page news. I'm Morgan Wood. Follow me on social at Morgan Media for more news coverage. Follow at Black Information Network. Download the free iHeartRadio app and visit us at BINnews.com. Y'all have an amazing day.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.